Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of How You're Getting Fucked. I'm your host, Louis Rossman. And today we're going to be discussing Section 1201 of the DMCA, yet again, by way of discussing wheelchairs and medical devices. I did a video a few weeks ago talking about the lies that are told to try and reinforce this horrible law that makes it illegal to show other people how to fix what you bought and paid for. And that you can see here. I'll link it down below. And today I wanted to discuss somebody who hacked their wheelchair in order to get access to the functionality inside of this device that cost over 6,000 euros. This is a really awesome story that comes from Elfie. She was sick and tired of some of the limitations on her wheelchair and decided, I'm just going to figure this stuff out myself. So she is an IT security specialist with multiple sclerosis, and she uses an Alber eMotion M25 electric wheelchair to get around. This is approximately 6,000 euros to get this device, and they lock certain features behind paywalls. So to give you an idea of some of the features that are locked behind a paywall, it is 99 euros to unlock a higher speed, 8.5 kilometers an hour versus 6 kilometers an hour, 600 euros for the Bluetooth remote control, 100 euros to use the phone app as a remote. Cruise mode is also an extra cost, so you could have a cruise mode, which makes it easier if you're trying to push a cart. One of the comments that really got me was catching the bus is obviously a premium function when referring to the fact that it would take 4 minutes at a slow speed to catch a bus and 2 minutes and around 50 seconds to catch it at the faster speed. The premium wheelchair is 8,000 euros. It's the same hardware, but just with those features unlocked. And one of the things that you'll hear people say is you should just pay more to get those higher features. And similar to the issue with heated seats in the car, this is something where you've already paid for it. They just want more money for you to get access to what you already had before. You're not seeing these devices get cheaper as a result of innovation and economies of scale and costs coming down over time. Rather, the cost of these devices continue to go up while they just find new and innovative ways to screw you. When you hear manufacturers talking about innovation a lot of the time and being pro-innovation, this is the type of innovation they're talking about. Putting a 1 or 2 kilometer per hour speed increase behind a paywall. So what she found is that the security keys for the device were stored as QR codes on the wheel hubs of the wheelchair. Anybody can scan this, and that these paid features are enforced in the app, but they're not enforced on the wheelchair if you get access to this. So these free trial features disappeared. And what she did is she created an application and a tool that makes it easy for anybody to get access to it. As you can see here on her GitHub, it says, "Your wheelchair, your rules. Python toolkit for the Alber eMotion M25 Power Assist wheels." Because paying 595 euros for a Bluetooth remote that does less than a Python script is absurd. And it goes over the features that you get, and it's just awesome. Now, what's important to go over is that under United States law right now, even though what she did was literally scan a fucking QR code to get the keys off of the wheel of the device, that by circumventing that digital lock that the manufacturer does not want you to circumvent, she has broken a law. And by showing you how to do it, that is punishable by up to 3 to 5 years of federal prison time in the United States. Now, she is not in the United States, which is a good thing here. But one of the thing to understand here is that if they'll do this to wheelchairs, they'll do this to everything. I'm not saying this to be an asshole. I'm just saying it to be like realistic with this. When you look at the groups of users that exist, like my customers that will show up saying, I paid $3,000 for my luxury Facebook machine and I spilled coffee on it. My parents won't buy me a new one. There's not a lot of sympathy there. But when you're talking about people with multiple sclerosis, people with disabilities, people who are not able to get around, there is a certain level of societal sympathy and empathy for people that have these types of problems. And if we are willing to apply in this type of enshittification to people over there, then the bar is in Hades at this point, is what I'm trying to say. And this is just going to continue onwards throughout everything. Like, there's no industry that is safe from this garbage. Medical device manufacturers are using software to try and extract rent from disabled people. Ownership means nothing if software is going to control everything. I've avoided discussing medical equipment a lot on the channel when it comes to any of this type of breaking digital locks thing, because it kind of starts to make people queasy. People are okay with the idea of breaking a digital lock so that your cell phone or your television works again, but not with medical equipment. But I want to start being a little bit more forceful and pushing back against that, because it's with medical equipment that it's actually the most important, because medical equipment is some of the stuff that is the most important. When the stakes are the highest is when it matters that the company that made the product is able to fuck you any way that they want. I went over all of the lies and bullshit in this video, and I cited all of my sources very clearly. When they say that it is dangerous to break a digital lock in order to service or repair medical equipment, they are completely and utterly full of shit. They do not have the facts in their favor, and they never did. They do this to fearmonger you. This law in the United States needs a lot of reform. I go over these things in this channel because I don't see it in terms of I'm not in a wheelchair, so fuck them. I see it in terms of I could be in a wheelchair someday. When I am, I would really like to be in a better situation. I started talking about wheelchair right to repair back in 2021. It wound that bill that I was talking about that failed here wound up passing a year and a half later when we put some lobbying money into it. And I've showed you Thomas Queter's nonprofit where he tries to build open source wheelchairs where you don't have to worry about any issue to begin with. These things matter to me even if I'm not the one that's on the other end of it, because you never know when I could be on the other end of it. I had a horrible, what I thought would be a permanent spinal injury in March earlier this year. And what I learned after getting some unconventional European healthcare earlier during my Christmas vacation is that it wasn't a permanent injury after all. My spine actually performs pretty damn well. In all seriousness, simply because something is not going to immediately affect me does not mean I'm just going to say, fuck this group of people. Rather, I'd like to see how we can make things better for that group of people, because if they're willing to pick on this group of people, then let's be real, they're going to pick on everybody. I could be in this situation at any point in my life. And when I am, I hope to live in the world that we're working to create rather than the world that we live in now. Currently, I'm the president of Hulu Foundation, which is a nonprofit dedicated to reform of Section 1201 of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and pointing out this stuff as often as possible. And I know that Kevin and everybody else is away on holiday right now, but I really want to start considering coming up with something like the Hulu Medal of Freedom, or like Hulu Freedom Medal of something to award to people like this, even if they're not in the United States, for doing something that I find beautiful. Showing people how to break digital locks, showing people that breaking digital locks is not dangerous and that it is beneficial for our most vulnerable populations, as well as everybody else. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like that wheelchairs have a paywall to unlock something like 1 or 2 more kilometers an hour so you can catch the bus? Can you hold the bus? I did a software update to my wheelchair and now I have to pay to make it go faster. That's the world that we live in. That ain't the world I want to live in. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.
We also have the duty not to infringe the IP rights in the process. It is in fact the manufacturers who have the relevant rights, not consumers.